Hey guys, I just wanted to talk to you for a quick second and let you know that I did the meal planning thing that I had mentioned on Facebook. And here is the outcome. I got some pineapple salsa, there's some salad in here, it's black beans and bell peppers and corn and stuff. There's fish, there's peppers, it's a big thing of white rice, veggies for snacks with little dip cups, tortilla chips. So all of it tasted pretty delicious. I tasted a few bites, while I was cooking to make sure I was actually gonna like it. Yeah, price wasn't too bad, like for me at least. I can go through what I bought. I did buy it all at Trader Joe's, so it's a little more expensive than like, Food Max or something. But yeah, it did take a little while. But it is enough food for basically the whole week until Aaron gets back, except for breakfast, which is a little bit of a problem for me because I don't really eat breakfast. So I was hoping, I don't know, I need to figure something out for breakfast, basically. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm excited to eat this all week. I can go into more detail later on, but I'm just about to go to bed, so I want to show you before I start devouring it all. Hey guys, so I just got back from kickboxing. It's Wednesday, and I'm about to eat dinner, and I'm eating one of my planned meals. I don't know if that looks super good or not, but it's tilapia with bell peppers and onions and rice. And I'm gonna put some pineapple salsa on top. So a couple things I found out while I'm eating like this is, one, it was a lot of work to get it all together at first. And I was like, oh, is this really going to be worth it? Like, I could just, put something so much more simple together. But this food is delicious. Like, the recipes are... Look at this cat trying to get my fish. It is not for you, cat. Did you see her lick her lips, literally? Hey, back it up. So, anyway, it's delicious. Like, it's so good. It smells amazing. It's held up really well in the fridge. Yeah, I picked stuff I knew I'd like. Like, I picked Mexican food because I love Mexican food, but it's so good. So it's totally worth the time I put into it. The cost wasn't, I didn't think it was that bad, but then I have realized that, I don't know, what her portion sizes were, but I probably eat more than she had imagined because I had, a portioned out, lunch the other day, and I was still pretty hungry after it. Even if I had, my snack, I filled up on veggies, which I think is the point, but, yeah, I don't know, it's at least telling me a lot about how I eat, and probably why our food bill is so high, because we buy a lot of main course stuff, and not, filler veggies and things like that. So, things to think about. I just got back from kickboxing, so I am super tired, and my arms hurt, and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat, and then I'll finish this video. Okay, so I'm done eating. Sorry. So I wanted to address Kristen Falls' video, and yeah, it can be really hard losing weight and talking about losing weight, and it's hard for me when it's such a big focus in my life because I'm the kind of person that can really fixate on stuff. And I mean, as a person with a depressed tendency, if I fixate on stuff too much, it becomes so much bigger in my mind that it feels impossible. So weirdly, I'm trying to not focus on it so much. So, for example, the food prep I did, because when I think about eating, I think about I really overthink it, and then I end up making a bad decision because I'm well, I don't really know how healthy this is or whatever, and then by the time I'm done thinking about it, I go for the easiest option because I'm hungry and nothing, I've basically talked myself out of all the healthy options because I'm but it's never gonna make a difference and everything is so terrible for you. So I'm just trying to wing it without winging it, think about what you're doing, but not so intently. Which brings me to address Kristen Falls' question about how do you control your nighttime cravings, because that is seriously one of my biggest problems, especially because I mean, now, like, now that Iron isn't home, like, I don't know what it is about not eating with someone else, but I'm like, I can eat anything I want, and there's gonna be like no side eye from anyone. No one's gonna know if I eat this, right? Except for me and my body. And so sometimes I'm not so successful in doing this, but it's kind of the inverse of what I do when I need to work out. So when I need to work out, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, it seems so impossible, and I don't have time, right? So kickboxing has helped with that because there's like a structured time. And I go and I tell myself, like, I put everything in my car. So on the way home from work, I have it in my car. And so, and I'm driving home and I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. I look over and I see my kickboxing stuff and I'm like, okay, I'll go to the kickboxing gym. I'll just stop in the parking lot and see if I feel like it. And as I'm in the parking lot and I can see the gym and see everyone inside, I'm like, okay, I'll just go and get dressed and I can like totally just half-ass it and just get through, I can leave if I don't want, if I can't take it anymore, right? Once I'm in there doing it, I'm like, mentally, sometimes being in there is enough, but sometimes I'm like, well, I'll get through this one section of the workout and then, during water break, I can leave if I want. But I usually keep going. I mean, I've never left yet. The only time, the iffiest part is when I'm driving and I haven't stopped in the parking lot yet because I can be like, whoops, I just forgot to turn in. Because it's like right down the street from my house. Like if you're going south on this road, you hit the kickboxing studio like a light or two before my house. So if I miss it, I'm like, oh, I'm so close to home. I'll just stop by home for a second and change there, and then I get in my house and I don't leave. So, but so I do the inverse of that when I'm talking about like getting food that I want. So even when I was eating my delicious tilapia just now with amazing cilantro lime rice, which was so good, mentally I was thinking, okay, sorry, I ran out of memory. So basically, the inverse of what I was talking about before is that if I really want something, like even when I was eating dinner just now, I really wanted Chinese food because when I'm sad, I always want to eat Chinese food. So I was thinking, like, oh, I should just go to Trader Joe's and get Chinese food from there because it's like healthier. I was trying to like rationalize it in my mind. But as long as I put steps between me and the thing, I can like generally stop it. So I try not to keep any sweets or junk food in my house because if it's there, I will eat it without even thinking. But if it's something I have to go and get, then I tell myself like, okay, well, if I eat another serving of blah or get a drink of water and I still feel this way in 10 minutes, then maybe I can go. And 10 minutes happens and I'm like, what, I'll have a protein smoothie or something. I worked out, I should probably have a protein smoothie, and then if I still want to go and have Chinese food, like I can have Chinese food. And usually by that time, I am not hungry anymore. So even if I still mentally want that thing because it's like a comfort thing for me or a habit thing, I am too full of good stuff. Like even if it's just like I have had a bunch of water or I've distracted myself with like starting a TV show or something, like it doesn't even have to be food that can distract me. Like another good one for me is I'm like, okay, well I really want to have this food, but I need to go out and get it, and let me just start up BioShock or something, a video game. And then, in a little bit if I'm still hungry, then I can get Chinese food. And then, like an hour later when I think about like, oh, was I supposed to get Chinese food? Not only am I not hungry, but I'm doing something else, so I don't care as much. So that's my only help, because like gum and stuff, it's never really worked for me. I know it sounds so cliche, but water a lot of the times, if I just drink a bunch of water, my stomach will get full. And if that doesn't work, then I go to, depending on like my like day I've had so far, if I've already eaten a lot of like calorie dense food that's not very like heavy in volume, then I'll try and fill it up with volume, because I think what I want to feel is like I feel like I've eaten. So veggies, fruit, something like that. And then sometimes when I've had a lot of filler foods but not a lot of good meals, I'll just fix myself like a small serving of some good like protein or something. So I try and listen to my body a little bit when I have those things, but right now when I was eating, I knew it was just an emotional, like, I'm sad, I want Chinese food feeling. And so you just gotta push through a little bit and make yourself wait is what works for me. But I'm interested to hear what Kristen Stiles has to say, because it is crazy hard to avoid food cravings for me when I'm at work. Because if I don't plan and have food with me at work, there's a ton of fast food by my work. Even like, all right, last time for my camera cut out, I swear. But yeah, avoiding temptation when I'm at work is really hard for me because our office backs up to a convenience store. So whenever I'm like, even if I brought my food, I'm like, I'm a little hungry, I can just walk over to the convenience store for a drink. And then I always end up getting like chips or candy or something. So it's really hard for me to avoid that. And if I don't bring food at all, we're near a mall and a bunch of like fast food. There's Chipotle right by my work. Panda Express with the drive-through. We've already talked about my Chinese food problem, so that is like the worst. They see me too much. So that's why I'm trying to plan and bring my own food and lots of little snacks so I can, instead of reaching for my wallet to go buy something, I can reach for my food first. And then I always tell myself, well, let me eat this first, I brought it, and then if I'm still hungry, I can go get that thing I want. And I eat, my hunger feeling goes away, so it's not gnawing at me, and I get back into my work, so I forget about it. So anyway, yeah, that's it for me right now. I love you both, Kristen Falls and Kristen Stiles, and I can't wait to see more of your faces. Okay, so I almost forgot the most important part. I don't know if you can even see this, but I am part of Winchester Fitness this week. I am training to hunt demons and also angels and also vampires and also Rougarous and also scarecrows and whatever other creature you can possibly imagine. I want to get a better picture of this though, so I'm going to go into the bathroom and be cliche and do a mirror shot. So here we go. Winchester Fitness! Yeah! Winchesters! Hunting demons and taking names.